Hi, honey. I'm almost done setting up. Well, it's good to see you here. Yeah. Maybe I have to. Is that good? All right. My other phone has like 19% charged. Oh, I am not. Well, I am in my own way. My rocktastic self, right? I have. I should really, from now on, like, I like to do everything off the cuff, but like for prayers, no, I'm talking about, no, we're not doing that, no. But I should really say a prayer, like, like right now, say a prayer, right? But I'm talking about like think of a prayer before I come out here to do a live stream. But I don't do it that way. I complicate things for myself. What character defects? I love to complicate things for myself, right? And my back, I'm not gonna. My back is not. It's shooting up. Hi, Cobra. How are you? I'm doing rocktastic. My back is acting up, I'll admit, but you know. Well, that's good. It's good to hear positive news, right? Hold on now. We go. Uh, how are you doing, Rocky? Hi, Maya. I'm doing all right. I'm doing this rocktastic. First of all, this stream is dedicated. Hold on. I need help. Thank you. Philip, how's it going? Uh, I'm so frazzled right now. Not, I don't know why. Let me, well, yeah, this is Oklahoma. Let me do my intro, guys, and we'll get on with it, huh? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Hey everybody, this is Rock Queens, everyone, coming at you live from my headquarters in Rocklahoma. How's it going? It's Tuesday! It's Taco Tuesday, but we're live outside talking about recovery, sobriety, and this live stream is dedicated to my dad who died 39 years ago from alcoholism. 39 years ago today, he passed away. So this stream is dedicated to him. Yeah, but let me give you all a cyber hug, like I usually do. Cyber love hug! Cyber welcome love hug! There you go, guys. Thanks for dropping in. I know my father's with me. I know he is. He's living vicariously through me in sobriety. You know, I will admit I still miss him. I'm originally from Jersey. I'm living the dream in Rocklahoma right now. So, it's nice out, it's beautiful out. There's a little breeze going on here. Thank you, Mayan. Happy Mental Health Problems Denial Month. I'm not crying. Cats really suck. Guess you don't have cats. Hi, Dishpan. How are you? So, wait, hold on. Dishpan, if you're out there, I know you are. You just showed yourself. We have 7 inside, but we have 3 outside. It's, you know, their comfort. I wish in a way I had a dog, you know, but, oh well. Dishpan, say a prayer for us, because last night you wanted to say a prayer, and so we try to start off with a prayer before the live stream. So I hand it over to you, Dishpan. Well, I guess you'll be my designated drinker for tonight. Hot Wheels. Believe me, I've said plenty of prayers with my beer back in the day. For those that don't know, I'm Rock Queens, everyone, coming at you live from my headquarters in Rocklahoma. I've been off crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011, and I'm human, guys. I still go through depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I have back pain issues, chronic, all that. But I still keep moving forward. And, Kim, how are you? Cyber Love Hug. Nice to see ya. So this live stream is dedicated to my father. He was an alcoholic. He died today, 39 years ago. And so this pan is saying the prayer right now. Our Father in heaven, we humbly come before you and plead your precious blood and guidance live stream. Lead us to bring each other up and lead all believers, and especially to the lost, to you, the way, the truth, and the life. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks, Sis Man. I love you. That was beautiful. Hot Wheels, yes, I do have kids. I have two. But one's in addiction. He's living in Portland, just existing, and he's addicted to meth, fentanyl, alcohol, God knows what else, and he's homeless. Well, thank you very much, Drink. A lot of people like my shades. Shoot. I just did something here. Hold on. There we go. All right. So tell me the weather in your neck of the woods, guys. Huh? It's beautiful. I love doing the live stream out here because it's more relaxing. And, yeah, that is our backyard. And if you see, well, Cheeseburger, at least it's a roof over your head, right? It's been raining. Connecticut, huh? Michelle. I have family members living in Connecticut. I have cousins that live in Stratford, and I used to have an aunt that lived in Derby, Connecticut. But she's no longer with us anyway. You know. Ohio! Cheeseburger, Ohio. We used to go up to Connecticut every year. Maybe twice a year, like during the holidays and then during the summertime. Okay, I live in East Haven, just a couple miles from the beach. Hi, Cassie, how are you? Have you, Michelle, have you ever been to Stratford? And they have the theater in Stratford. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm originally from Jersey, but I've been living here in Oklahoma since 2017. Oh, you haven't? Oh. Exactly, Phil. Cheeseburger is making me hungry. Michelle says, I just visited Jersey for the very first time last month to visit the Mall of America. And it was beautiful. Yeah, and East Rutherford, right? The Meadowlands. I love veggie burgers, by the way. I think they're good. They're made right. So are you going to go back to Jersey again, Michelle? Yes, I do eat veggie burgers. Despite my size. Yes, I do. Someday, there are nice areas in Jersey, like in every state. So you came down from the New York Thruway, right, Michelle? You crossed over the Verrazano Bridge? You know, I love going up there during the fall because you guys have the bridges, the overpasses made out of stone, and where's New Jersey? It's in the U.S. It's probably expensive there too now, right, Michelle? So you've probably been to Rhode Island also. I have family living up in Rhode Island, you know. Memories. That's true, Michelle. That is true. And it causes a lot of stress, right? Every time that my husband and I, when we go shopping, my anxiety goes up, and it's just in. True. We have to rely on each other. Because I'm not going to get political, okay? I try not to get into politics that much. Not when I'm talking about recovery, sobriety, mental health, or whatever. Because it sucks the life right out of this live stream. But, our government's not going to save us. That's all I'm going to say about that. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Michelle. Are you in recovery? There's no excuse to drink. None whatsoever. Except if you want to drink Java Monster. Java Monster is the only rocky fuel for this rock queen. Hell yeah. Good cue. This band. Cheers, guys. And actually, this is my last one. Monsters are getting expensive too. They're like $30 a 12-pack on Amazon. I know, and that's why I said it's a great time to drink Java Monster. That was a cue, dish man. No, I have never had a drug or alcohol problem, but I've had loved ones who have. Like I said, my father was an alcoholic, and he died 39 years ago today. And I still miss him, but I feel like he's living vicariously through me in my recovery. He died of a brain tumor, okay? But in reality, he died from alcoholism. And that, thank you. And the alcohol put up a wall between my father and I in a lot of ways. My parents were divorced when I was 3. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my dad. My mother, I was about 1 years old, okay? And my mother used to bring his coffee in the bedroom and put it on his nightstand. Well, one morning, she was doing the routine, right? And she saw my father drinking a beer in bed, and she said, "Oh, no, 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 we're not going to have this." And so she moved me and my mother herself to New Jersey. I was born in Warwick, New York State, which is like Orange County, New York. It's upper New York State. Hi, Mr. Luke. How are you? I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. So my mother got a divorce from my father when I was 3. But he had visitation rights, right? But he paid no child support to my mother. He would pick me up on, say, a Friday and take me back home on Sunday. And he promised my mother he wouldn't drink in front of me. He took me to bars. He drove drunk. Something happened that led me not to see my father for 3 years. Okay, I'm not going to bring that up on there. But he knew he was an alcoholic. I mean, my mom, went with him to AA meetings. And at that time, AA meetings was totally different. It was very depressive. And all that. And he never went back, but he always you get himself right out. That's what they used to call it. Detoxing, drying out. So, my grandfather, my father's father, told my mother, Al's sick. He's very sick. You think, Vicky can see her father. And so, she allowed me to see my father. And so, he was very frail and everything else, and it was hard to see him like that. And he didn't even want to hug me at first. I said, "Dad, it's okay to hug me. It's okay." And I forgave him a long time ago. And so, I was starting to have issues acting out. I ran away from home a couple times. Thank you, Colton. I appreciate you. I had so much going on, and I couldn't handle it, pretty much. So, I was starting to drink. I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I ended up, sleeping over at my friend's house most of the time. I ran away from home, like I said, a couple times. Then my friends and I, we started a band called Vicious Bite. But to process that when I was 15 years old, it was hard. And that's why I think, too, when you have issues with relationships, right, with, say, with men, women, all that stuff, that the relationships with your parents carry over to your life, and so pretty much I married my dad, like his characteristics, right, and stuff. But now I married a good man, Jim. I don't know what I would do without him. He takes care of me, and I try to give him some wisdom on my experience, strength, and hope about recovery. And I'm still trying to talk to him, this man, on coming out here a lot more. And all that. And even making a YouTube channel. We were talking about that last night. It's just, you have to kick him in the ass, right? But, he's a good man, and I feel like the gift of recovery gave me him as my reward for keeping sober and trying to help other alcoholics and addicts to find recovery. And I should have been dead years ago, guys. I should have been dead years ago. And my father died when he was 59 years old. I'm 21 with 34 years experience. Okay, I swear I thought I just scrolled past him. I had to go back to look, like him sitting outside streaming. It was uncanny. I was gonna take a screenshot and send it to you. What, Jim? Wait, look. Or you mean Bigfoot? Hi, Skip. My dad died at 63. Everyone dies young in my family. Especially when you're in the throes of alcoholism and addiction. "63 is still young. So let me ask you something, Skip. How did that affect your life? Was your dad like that? My mother's birthday is tomorrow, and she's going to be 83. And she's in a nursing home back in Jersey. And all that. I was his caregiver. He had cancer. And that's hard to watch, right, Skip? Makes me wish I had family to hang with. God bless. Keep being awesome. See you soon. Thanks, Michelle. Let me give you a cyber hug. Thank you, Michelle, for being here. Cyber love hug. I soon too. Much love to you. And thank you. Pray God's blessing over you, my friend. You'll live to a great age. You know, Skip, they have support groups for caregivers. It's like AA and stuff, but they do have support groups for caregivers. Because a lot of times, like, you get overwhelmed, right, with taking care of your dad, or you used to, and you feel like you're not getting a break, like you don't have any time for yourself, right? It's hot in here, right? My father died in the hospital down in Greensboro, North Carolina. And 2 weeks before he passed away, I went to see him. And my father said to my mom, Karen, get me cigarettes, get me a carton of cigarettes, get me a carton of Winston Lights. And my mom said to my dad, Al, you're in the hospital, they don't allow you to smoke. He said, yes, they do. He said, but get the cigarettes in North Carolina because that's where all the big tobacco plants are. Oh, no. Skip says, then I had cancer right after that, but nobody really believed me or cared that much. Life is funny and weird as heck. Is your cancer arrested? When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I just asked him that. Like, is there... Well, hallelujah, right? God is good. God is good. God is good, right? Let me give you Skip, Cyber, God is good, love hug. Thankful hug. Yeah. Thank God, right? But you're probably taking care of yourself better now, right? Or try to at least. You're welcome. My mother actually took care of her parents, and this was in my addiction. She took care of her parents, my grandparents, right? But then she had to take care of both my kids because I lost custody of my 2 kids and my addiction. And so taking care of 2 parents and 2 little ones, that takes a toll on somebody too. You know what I mean? But I'm grateful that I got to see my father and all that before he passed away. But and too, like my grandfather, my father's father, he had cancer while he was taking care of my grandmother uh, with Alzheimer's. And so he was having issues, like they found polyps in his colon and all that. And so he had to put my grandmother in a nursing home, because he had to take care of himself. And then my grandfather passed away, right? And then my father, and then my grandmother. It's like, everything happens in threes. If you're in recovery and all that, and you're caregiving for somebody, you really need to stay close to the program and stay close to your sponsor, because you don't realize it until maybe you have thoughts about drinking or using or picking up a whatever drug or drink or whatever, because it's a trigger, because you don't have time for yourself. Jim's my caretaker, and because of my back issues, and my anxiety, and he gets overwhelmed. He gets overwhelmed with me just being me, with my Jersey too and all that stuff. He needs a break away from me. He does, I'll admit. But I told him, I said, I want him and I to go to a speaker meeting around here, so he has an understanding of what meetings are. It could be AA, it could be Celebrate Recovery. Because if say me and him have an argument and stuff, he can go to a meeting. And oh, by the way, guys, June is post-traumatic stress disorder month. Please reach out to get some help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. You can always talk to me in the chat here. But don't be ashamed to ask for help. It's going to make you stronger. Yeah, Philip. Everybody needs their own time. To do what they love to do and everything else. That's important. Kimberly, what's up? Oh, Kimberly, how are you? Welcome back. Cyber, welcome back. Love hug. How you doing, Sunshine? And how you doing, Sunshine? Oh, what? Right back at you. So, I'm going to ask you something, right, Kimberly? Uh, you were here the other... Hi, X! You're from Germany, huh? I'm German, Dutch, and Kiwi. So I have a hard head. Hi, Tyson! Cyber hug! Cyber love, welcome back, hug! Thank you, X. A lot of people think that. They're my signature look. Yeah, but you're not German, Dutch, and Kiwi. I'm Kiwi. I'm special. I told you about my grandmother being... Yeah, Kiwi. My grandmother was born in New Zealand. But her parents, my great-grandparents, were German. And actually, Jim, my husband, was stationed in Germany back in 1985. So what do you do in Germany? And Kimberly, I didn't mean to snub you off. Have you lost anybody from the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction? If you're still here, has anybody? I've lost a lot of people, like I said, and I lost my father 39 years ago. And I think I had a resentment towards my father, too. It's 2 a.m. over here. So you can't do much of anything except to watch me. Hey, that's a good thing. I hope I don't give you nightmares after you turn me off. My friend was 27 when he died. His kidneys and liver failed due to drinking vodka every day. So what? How? I mean, of course you felt sad, Philip, but then you feel like just a little angry. Like, how could he do that to his life, right? My husband that passed away 15 years ago said to me, "You're not going to call me an enabler anymore. I'm not going to sit here and watch you kill yourself. No. If you want your own beer, you go get it yourself." And sure enough, I did. You know? And his mother was an alcoholic. A well-known drunk in Dover. All that. No, I'm not. This is what I'm smoking. And no, they didn't pay me to say this. I don't, no, I don't California sober. So Philip was, I guess I was angry at his mom because he had been drinking since he was 14 years old, and she let him get away with it. A couple of months ago, I stopped smoking after 15 years. Stop smoking cigarettes or blunts? Way to go, X, though. I give you props. I really do. This is like my last vice. And I mean, I've been in the hospital and stuff, and sometimes they'll give me a nicotine patch. There was one time they actually didn't give me a nicotine patch, and I was fine because, you know, nobody was smoking cigarettes in front of me or anything else. Cynthia, what? Wait. What's the matter, Cynthia? My little Miss Greeter? What happened? Hold on. Stop with cigarettes? High five there, X. Wait, hold on. I don't know. What? Hold on. Oh, you know why? All right. So Cynthia said, and Streamlabs deleted her message. Cynthia is my little Miss Greeter, okay? And she's my sister, okay? Well, she's my sister, but in Georgia. She's like a sister to me. So she said, did I ever tell you you are my hero? You are everything. I wish I could... Don't! You're going to make me cry. Every time you say this, Cynthia, I swear. Did I ever tell you you were my hero? You were everything. I wish I could be. And if I can fly higher than an eagle, then you are the one beneath my wings. I love you. I'm sending love and hugs your way. You like that song too, right? No, I'm not. Anyway, Cynthia, I love you, sister. And I do this because I enjoyed our time together, and I enjoy helping others to share my experience with hope that people can actually enjoy the gifts of recovery, enjoy a better life without the drugs and alcohol. You know, you have been saying wonderful things. I do not know why Streamlabs are doing messages. I think it's because Streamlabs considers like a few lines, like a paragraph, or maybe caps, maybe. I thought I fixed it. Oh. Why are you doing this? Don't listen, Cynthia. Don't write in caps. Don't write in caps. I like. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. No, you're not. You're not in timeout. How are you, Cynthia? Did you get your situation resolved? What we talked about the other time when you were on the live stream? You know what I'm talking about? That you might have had a... That's how the government is, honey. I know. But did you make an amendment to your how much you have to pay it back? They have to accept the minimum of $5. Yeah. Hi, Dark Child. How are you? Welcome to my live stream. I told you to amend that to at least 10, and they have to accept it. But I'm doing rocktastic. This live stream is dedicated to my father, who died 39 years ago today. And I know my father's proud of me for being off crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. And that's the only reason why I stream, guys. I stream to help people. Hi, Addie. How are you? Yep. At least before he passed away, my cousin Ronnie was a pastor. And he gave my father a Bible. So at least he made right with God. I know he is. He's living vicariously through me. But 39 years, I can't believe, it blows my mind how much time's passed. You know what I mean? And tomorrow is my mother's birthday. So, it's really weird that he died the day before my mom's birthday. What's my name? Does anybody in the chat know my name? Let's have a game here. Who knows my name? No, my mom's not dead. She's in a nursing home back in Jersey. Do I look like it? I actually had a friend named Jill. Oh, you'll remember me, buddy. Yeah, either Queenie or Rocket. Believe me, people don't forget me too much. Right, guys? No, it's all right. Cynthia, I don't. No, you don't mean no harm. I love you, Dark, but, people call me Queenie. some people call me RQ71 or RQ or Rocket or whatever. You know what I mean? And believe me, Dark, I was on the dark side for a long, long time. I should have been dead years ago. So, Dark Child, let me ask you a question. Are you in recovery, or do you know anybody in recovery, or do you know anybody that's in addiction or alcoholism? God has been good to me. When I was in my addiction, God was right over me. He was just waiting for me to come home so he can wrap me in his arms. You are? Where are you from, Dark? Can I ask you something? Why are you on medical marijuana? Australia? Okay. Oi, 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 oi. I feel like you're my cousin. You know why? Because my grandmother was born in New Zealand. That's why. Kiwi power! Ask Phil! Phil's from Australia too. Yeah, right. Whereabouts in Australia, Dark? I don't do California sober. I've been off crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011. And I don't do California sober. It doesn't interest me. I'm old school. But I go through depression, anxiety, panic attacks. I do have chronic back pain issues. But you're far and worth. Dark. Does it say anywhere in the Bible? Let's have. You're not gonna like this. I know you're not. A lot of people don't. Does it say anywhere in the Bible about cannabis? That's right. So, just because they passed a law, I'm just throwing this out there, okay? Just because they passed a law that it's okay to smoke pot or marijuana medicinally doesn't mean it's right either. A drug is a drug is a drug is a drug. But I'm gonna say this real quick. I do believe, okay, that if somebody's dying of cancer and the effects of the chemotherapy makes them nauseous and they don't eat that much, yeah, I'm all for it. But yes, it is. Alcohol is a drug. Alcohol is a depressant. You ever drink a few beers and at first you're like feeling fine like you're feeling all right, you're feeling that buzz, and all of a sudden you hit that peak and you start going down with your mood and whatever. Alcohol is a depressant. When my mother died of pancreatic cancer, they gave her medical marijuana, extended a life by 8 months. I listen. I'm open-minded to that. I really am. I'm not, but this medical marijuana is being abused like the opioids, okay, like the painkillers. Our governor in Oklahoma, he's trying to get rid of medical marijuana. Well, that's you, Butters. That's you. Wait, hold on. I think people press hard against themselves and turn to drugs that are meant to for collaborations and offerings. What do you mean by that, Dark? Lady, I've been wanting to get back on whiskey. Oh, yeah. Butters, I know where you're going. That's a Luke Combs song from the movie Twister. Twister 2, Twister whatever. I caught that, Butters. But you know what? Butters, I'm going to do this. Just to prove Luke Combs wrong, I am going to give you a cyber love hug. This is for Butters and everybody else out there. Cyber love, much love hug from Rocklahoma. There is love in Oklahoma. Yeehaw! There. I had to do it. Thank you, Dish. All right, hold on. Dark. You're welcome, Butters. What other Luke Combs song do you like? Yeah, but Dark. All right, I'm gonna say this. The lottery ticket one. I like the song "She's Crazy but She Loves Me" or something like that. All right. I'm saying this with love, Dark. I know you know this. When Jesus had the Last Supper, okay, did he offer pot to all his disciples? I'm going to ask that again. During the Last Supper, did our Lord Jesus Christ offer pot to his disciples? Possibly, Butters. But I'm saying this for a specific reason. They probably smoked opium too. You know. So, Dark, Where are you, buddy? No, yeah, right. All right, hold on. All right. Dark says no, but what does pot have to do with being a sin? You said, I'm gonna go back up here, right? What you said, if I can find it, that is, right? Hold on. This is the exact quote that you just said. I smoke weed in remembrance of God and to enjoy my personal space. So basically, I do everything with love. Hemp was known for fact to be used for a lot of things back then, for clothes, robe, baskets. Yeah, flax was. Flax. It's called flax, but hemp probably was too. Discounting that. So Dishpan says, Dark, Jesus taught against drunkenness, which can be applied to abusing any substances. Philip says the water wasn't very clean back in Jerusalem in that day. Jesus was living, but the wine had tiny amounts of alcohol in it. It was the strong fermented wine that he spoke about not to drink. Boy, we have some scholars here. This weed does not make you a drunk. No, but it means drunk. Yeah, but it changes your way of thinking. It changes your mind. It's an altered state. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make you sober. I love having these debates in a way. The pot today is more potent than when I used to smoke it way back when. But that's not true. Weed it can be abused just as well as alcohol. Butter says that's not true. Weed can be abused just as well as alcohol. Wow, Butters. Wow. And hold on, guys. Wait a minute. Dark, we're not trying to gang up on you. I don't want you to ever feel that way. We're just having a discussion. Okay? We're not trying, ambush you and say this is wrong with, okay? Just have an open mind. Okay? Well, Butters, I appreciate that, okay? I really do. And I think you know that. Because a lot of people, like hold on. So my sister-in-law, and even my niece-in-law and my nephew-in-law smoke, all right? But my sister-in-law used to say, well, pot's a miracle drug. God gave us the gift of pot for us all. It's all natural, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, but so was cocaine and heroin before they processed it. You know? truth, Butters. I meant no disrespect, just wanted to see what I think to be the case of having a good life. No stress. And we're not trying to gang up on you. Okay? Just have an open mind. You know? Hey Sherry, what's up, girl? Long time no see. And you know what, Dark, I'm gonna give you a cyber hug too. Cyber love hug! Nice to see you, Sherry. But to me, a drug is a drug is a drug is a drug. Okay? There's no such thing, and people are gonna, say, oh, Rocket, that's blasphemy what you just said. There's no such thing as medical marijuana. None. None whatsoever. And I hope one day I can show you an interview with a pathologist, because I'm going to say something and stuff real quick. I encourage those that are abusing drugs to seek help. Good job you guys are doing. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's not because of me, it's because of the Queen's Life Brigade. They're making, this stream happen. You know what I mean? But, I was going to say something. Oh, you know what? All right, hold on. So, real quick, this live stream is dedicated to my father, who died 39 years ago from alcoholism. He actually died with a brain tumor also, but he had everything wrong with him, but he really died from alcoholism when I was 16. Now, when I ran away from home, okay, at the age of, let me see, I was 15 and I ran away from home. My father came to pick me up and whatever, and he took me to a bar in Dover, New Jersey, okay? He admitted to me that he smoked pot a couple of times. We were at the bar. No, the bar didn't serve me, okay? He had like a ginger ale and scotch, and I had like a Coke. At this old timers bar, okay? It's for old folks. And he said, are you on drugs, Vicky? Because I think you're on drugs. And then he said, I smoked pot a couple of times with Uncle whatever, whatever. And I'm like, what? So my father smoked pot, but back then, pot was illegal, right? And then what's next? Is he gonna say he smoked crack? No, I mean he wouldn't do that, but we in New York State. He lived in Middletown, New York State, and he lived on a farm and whatever. And and our neighbors and stuff. I forget. Maybe it was Uncle Dan, or no, Uncle Dave. Now, Uncle Dave was not my real uncle, and I had a friend that was his daughter named Lisa. And we had to play together, but she was much older. You know what I mean? And all that. But my father said, yeah, I smoked pot with Uncle Dan. Or what? And I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. I couldn't believe it. The mind-altering substance in marijuana. Yeah, cannabinoid. THC is taken out of the medical marijuana here. So is it CBD? It's THC is the chemical. Pot is psychoactive. Because what's the sense of, I don't get it. But see, that's how it's like with me, it's like, I know people that can have maybe two to three drinks and stop, but I'm like, what's the sense of that? Right? It's being abused, and the government is pushing their agenda, okay? And I don't talk about politics on here during my sober live stream, whatever. I try to keep it to a minimum. How can you, I'm going to ask you this, how can you control a moralistic society? I'll tell you, by giving legal drugs like pot, like small amounts of cocaine, like psilocybin. So they don't know what's going on in the government or in the world. I know that's like that's a conspiracy theory, but it's true. My mother would just have a few drops of the oil to get rid of the nausea. Yeah, so I think you're talking about CBD oil. I think CBD oil is snake oil but I haven't tried it, so I gotta take off for a little bit. Be back. All right, Dish. Be good out there. Cyber love hug. If it helped your mother, it helped your mother. If it helps with some pain, for somebody that's going through chemo or whatever, I mean, like I said, I am open-minded to that. But I mean, here in Oklahoma, I can break a fingernail and they would give me a green card. I'm just saying. But, that's why Governor Kevin Stitt wants to abolish the medical marijuana from the state. Because it seems like when you go to Tulsa, it's like every other block is a dispensary. And there's also illegal pot farms around here. We used to have a couple of them around here run by the Chinese. And that was taken down. They were taken down. And all that. And there are pot shops that mask as dispensaries and they're not. But anyway. I just don't do it. It's legal, yeah. Recreational. And you're smoke it recreationally. Damn, I should have never moved out of Jersey. Now I'm like getting. Yeah, because I mean, you see on the news, and yeah, it's like, here these kids are right by the pot shops, very seedy people go in pot shops. I'm not saying everybody, by the way, all right? I'm just saying there's certain types sometimes or whatever. And parents and grandparents don't want that to be in their neighborhood. And just like, safe zones or safe spaces where junkies can shoot up, the dope and the coke with a nurse being there. That's enabling, okay? It's enabling. I mean, when I used to shoot up and stuff like that, we would exchange needles or whatever, for safety needles and whatever. And oh yeah, thank God for that. But when you're clean and sober, and it's like, it's enabling addicts. Now I don't know how they can afford it either, to tell you the truth. But that's their business. I don't even want to know. You might buy crack cocaine, right? Jerry, if it's that expensive, I mean, I'm not. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Rocky, you shouldn't be joking like that. I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if it's that expensive, you might as well. And see, I'm not promoting any drugs or anything else, okay? But it's all for the states. It helps with the states. To put more money into the states. It helps its people. And all that. It's a bunch of crap. Just like in Jersey when they wanted to build Atlantic City, they'll say, oh, it's going to help, with the educational help, with the infrastructure, blah, 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 blah. Did it? No. But it's for the children's sake, too. We can help all these children. No, bullshit. They always say, oh, it's for the children. It's for the children's sake. Yeah, I don't, you have to listen to the buzzwords. Pun intended, by the way. I don't know. I thought I fixed it. It's supposed to, give resources, but it's, sort of to help with the moderation a little bit. And I thought I fixed it before I came out here, and it's still not fixed. So I have to. It's crazy. Streamlabs is a software I use for my live stream when I go live in my studio in the wildfire. I don't know. I love technology. Streaming live for you, I swear. I've used Streamlabs ever since, I think, 2019. And, you know. Oh, it's hot here. Can you... I mean, I'm like... I don't know what the degrees is. Wait, let me see if I can... Hold on. My phone's about to go dead. Man. It's very humid out here. Alright, man. What's the degrees here in Westport, Oklahoma? I can't see it. It's in the 80s. I'm in the 80s. I have an 80s state of mind. I hope you don't get tornadoes, Sherry. I think ever since I've been here, like, we had one bad tornado, and it was actually when my mother-in-law was still alive. And Jason came over, knocked on the door saying, Grandma wants you here with us, you know. And actually, the siren in Cleveland went off. But we live on, like, say, on the outskirts of Cleveland, you see. And so I did my first live stream on Facebook and all that, but I was in that house for what, 3 hours, and I said, Ma, I'm going home. Do you watch Ryan Hall? Ryan Hall, y'all? He does a lot of charity work for the victims of hurricanes and tornadoes. He's live all the time, like, especially when there's like a tornado warning in, like, say, Oklahoma, you know, Illinois, Texas, whatever. He's the best one to go to for, like, tornado tracking and whatever. There's still a little breeze out here, but it's not cooling me off any. And it doesn't help that I'm drinking Java Monster. Do you have like a storm cellar? Just in case you get a tornado? They say you should, if a tornado hits, to be in the hallway, like the warrior. Yeah, basement. We have a storm cellar and stuff. but it hasn't been used in years. But it's on my sister-in-law's property, the one that passed away a few years ago. Yeah. So, sometimes I feel like I'm Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. You know, and that's one of my favorite films. I know the movie's based in Kansas, but I'm just saying, you know, Oklahoma. Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. They actually have it filming at the Sphere in Vegas. The Wizard of Oz. But Vegas is so dead. And the Sphere, for, say, 2 drinks, it's like $50 for 2 drinks. But they they didn't remake The Wizard of Oz. They put AI so it could cover the Sphere. You know, they didn't lose the film's integrity. And I wanted to go. And of course, with my back, I can't travel to Las Vegas and stuff. Were you scared of the flying monkeys? No, and it's dead. And I'll tell you why. And they're doing it by design. They're making it so the elite, it's the elitist playground. Because before it was for families, like, you know, with kids, you know, like you go to Circus or Excalibur or whatever. Yeah. It's all dead now. A lot of places are shutting down. They had a story on the news about the heart attack grill. And if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get a free hamburger or whatever. Well, they shut their doors after 30 years. My parents used to go at Thanksgiving time. Jumper flights for like $80 round trip. And there's you should look at Patrick CC. He's a YouTube channel, and he speaks about Vegas. When I'm going to tell you a story, back in 2003, 2004, 2005, there was a big boom about poker, like Texas Hold'em poker, like the World Series of Poker, right? And I was like semi-poker pro back then, okay? And so when that boom happened, all these contractor companies, you know, were building apartments, homes, whatever. But guess what? When all these people moved to Vegas or Reno, in that area, everything skyrocketed. You know? They tore down all the old, like, neon signs. They have, like, a neon sign graveyard. They even tore down Welcome to Vegas sign. Really? But it's all towards the elite. Just like when you go to, say, wrestling matches or football games or baseball games now. It's all towards the elite. same thing with Atlantic City too. I used to play poker at the Showboat, and actually, Trump Taj Mahal before they demolished it. Hi, Ethan. How are you? Well, I'm cooking. I'm hot out here. How are you? Welcome to my stream. Yeah, they had great, prices on the buffets and everything. They would give you coupon books. Especially if you went to Atlantic City on a bus. You know what? They would give you a coupon book for like buffets for $7.99, and you would get like a roll of quarters for the slots or whatever, you know. Not anymore. And the World Series of Poker was always at Jack Binion's place, right? Well, now they have it at the Rio or some other places. It's not at... No, it's not. I still go on Amazon and I'll get Shriver's saltwater taffy. But even that's expensive. They're doing it for a reason. And it's not a conspiracy theory either. You have to watch what you eat too, because it's biochemically produced food. It's all in their plan. Their plan. Atlantic City's all run down. Genetic, right. I was in the hospital, a couple months ago and stuff, and they gave me Yoplait. So just for the hell of it, I read the ingredients. And it's like generic food. Even like Chex cereal, Chex blueberry cereal, biochemically engineered food. You have to watch what you eat with the chicken now. With what they have videos about, like watermelon just bending and not breaking like it used to be, or like bananas. And they want us healthy. Seems like every week, you hear about a recall of, say, ice cream or meat or some kind of product, right? My nephew-in-law, he loves gardening. He's a real good gardener. And sometimes he'll like give us like chili peppers or tomatoes. I love tomatoes, okay? And he does good at it. So if the world is ending, we can rely on his vegetables. There's a good place in Cleveland, Oklahoma, where it's an actual butcher. And Jim went there to get 5 pounds of meat, like in individual packages, and so he got a good deal for it. Oh, I do too. I love radishes. I love peppers. And believe it or not, if you buy from a butcher, right, Sherry, it's a lot cheaper than if you buy it at Walmart or in a supermarket, right? Oh, it's ridiculous. We don't eat out that much anymore. But my friend told me that, oh wait, I think it's her birthday on Thursday. I think she told me her whatever. Was it yeah, so my friend went out to a restaurant, right? She said the steak was $80 alone. Just the steak, not the whole meal. $80 alone. You know? I feel the same way at times, Cynthia. At the butcher shop in Cleveland, Oklahoma. I forget what the place is called. But when you go in the parking lot, they actually have a room to skin deer, to clean the deer, to get, to give you your venison and all that. They even do that. In Reese's, they have like a meat bundle, like a grill bundle or a crock pot bundle, and that's supposed to be a deal. I think, but I know I couldn't. Nothing gets the appetite going like semen and animal being skinned. I said semen. Scene! Do you think I need... That's right, it's hot! My brain's fried just by being out here. It's cooling down a little bit, but not much, but, And look at my hair, right? And you know what? This was ice. Now it's not. It just... And plus, too, talk about being hot, you guys have to watch your electric bill. Because of these data centers they're all building around us, your energy bill is going to go through the roof. A lot of people in Jersey were complaining about that. I'm worried and concerned that they're gonna have a data center in Cleveland or Westport area. We live by Keystone Lake. We live right by Keystone Dam. So data centers need water, right? So they would probably throw it right near Keystone Dam. And that's not going to happen. I'll make sure, but I'm so going to run it. I don't care if I really do have to take out a second mortgage. Well, there is assistance, you know. Like, you can go to social service, or you can go call up your electric company and see what you can do. Maybe get a payment plan, like $59 a month or whatever. I run the air all the time, and sometimes I'll put it down to 60 or all the way down. Jim gets pissed off. He's like, you can't have it like that and stuff. I said, I'm sweating in the house. It is. It's just, yeah. It's terrible. Whoop. Better? Shoot. No, I know you're not. Don't worry. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this and see if anybody comes in and saying, oh, she looks like an Amazon woman or a banshee. All right, ready? We're going to do this, right? 3, 2, 1. There. Okay. There we go. Let's see who comes in and says a comment about my hair. It's making my nose itch. Nobody yet, but I can't even see. Yep. I couldn't. It was making my nose itch and all that crap. When I used to be in the band and stuff, we used to use Aquanet. We would get a whole box, a whole case of Aquanet, okay? And we used to, and my hair would be out to here. What's up, Jamie? Oh, which is Brigade. Here, how do you like my hair? Here. What's up? I look like Cousin Ed. I think I just gave myself whiplash now. How are you, Jamie? Welcome back, Hook. How are you? What? Am I on? No! No! Am I on? Man. Oh, you can! Okay! Rocktastic. Good. All right. No, because I did sell. No. But yeah, I used to use a lot of Aquanet. And uh, it took it for one case of Aquanet, right? We used it about 2 to 3 weeks. No joke. And we used to, you know what we used to do? We used to spray it, take a lighter, and it would, you know, do this big flame, like, you know. And all that. But they say it's flammable, but if the flame gets in the can, it'll explode in your hand. But we live dangerously. We live on the edge. Awkward. Yeah. That's why they came up with pumps. Environmentalists suck. Yeah, climate change and ozone layer and yeah, but now they want to block out the sun. Like Bill Gates wants to block out the sun. What the hell is that? Huh? I guess he's blaming all us headbangers for using Aquanet. Right? That's why it's so hot today. You great using all that hairspray in the 80s now? Hell no! No way! No! No. Mm-mm. We live dangerously, remember? We're drinking Monster. Triple brew. I'm just waiting for them to come out with a quad brew. I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe. I would like to do a live stream where I would like to show you guys that we metalheads back in the 80s, we weren't all slackers and brain dead. Because we knew what was coming in the future. Listen to Queensryche Operation Mindcrime. Or Metallica's Injustice for All. Or Megadeth, Peace Sells. Yeah, everybody thought we were lunk brains and stuff back then. Believe me, we knew what was coming. Boggins? Is that it? Bogans? Boggins? Bogans. I have a fan, like one of those handheld fans I got last year. I got on Amazon. That really doesn't work. But see, there's a breeze out here, you know. Bogans? Bogans! Oi, 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 oi! Bogans! I have to remember that. So this live stream is pretty easy going, you know. Yeah, we talked about medical marijuana, and we talked, you know. Here's a nice breeze. It's alright. But for those that are going to have problems with your electric bill, and whether there are resources where you can get help, but most likely, if you're behind on your bill, they're not going to, you know, they're not going to give you assistance. But you can go to churches or even the electric company and you can say, I can't afford this. What can I do? I'm worried about next month. To be honest with you. But I'm sure Jim and I will figure it out. What, Led Zeppelin 4? You're rocktastic, Phil! What's your favorite song from Led Zepp? Mine's Black Dog. Or Battle of Evermore. I used to have a lot of metal shirts and stuff, and you know, I lost them during the years from moving around too much and a lot of crap. Stairway to Heaven? You know, if you go into a Guitar Center, they ban you from going to the store ever again because you can't play Stairway to Heaven on their guitars. Is a known fact. And also, they went to court. Led Zeppelin went to court because I forget the band and stuff, but one of the bands said that they stole the lyrics from their song. I forget what band, but I think Led Zeppelin won the case. Of course, right? Spirit, that's it. Yeah. You know what I'm talking. Yeah, right. Jamie for the clutch. So how are you, Jamie? Are you cooled off? Oh, they settled out of court. I thought Led Zeppelin, yeah. I thought they won. It's not cool here. I'll be honest. I don't like Oklahoma summers because it gets so freaking humid and hot. Now, I like spring right? Yeah, it's about 80 here, but it's very humid. I like fall because it's a little cooler. I like, winter. But summer is the worst, though. I have a friend that works at Tank and Tommy, and I had to go. This is a couple years ago, and I went in there to get, I guess, something to drink or whatever, or cigarettes. And we were talking for a while, and she's lived here all her life, and she says, "I've lived here all my life. I'm still not used to the humidity." I'm like, why don't you just move? you know? You going fishing? Jamie? You gonna catch a big one? It's so peaceful here, though. You know, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't. You know, I'm just afraid that they're gonna try to build a data center in a rinky-dink town of Cleveland, Oklahoma, because we have like. I brought my Led Zeppelin shirt at an opportunity shop thrift store. Now that's awesome. How much do they sell it to you for? They have a niche now on YouTube where people go to, say, the Goodwill or the Salvation Army or whatever, and they do thrifting. And now the Goodwill caught on to what's going on with YouTube, so they're raising the prices. You can find good stuff in there. But I hate the Salvation Army. I'll tell you why. I actually worked there back in my addiction and stuff. They said part-time, right? 20 hours a week. And this girl, Naomi, I used to get high with her grandson. And she pushed me up all the way to 40 hours a week. But I hate it. I hated the Salvation Army. Because my friend overdosed. Okay? On dope. Naomi worked there for over 20 years. 20 years. And do you know what? They wouldn't help her, for funeral costs or anything. Real rotten. You think, because, she didn't have any money. The family didn't have any money. And you'd think, the Salvation Army would step up and say, we'll help with some of the costs of the funeral. Nothing. So that's why I don't like the Salvation Army. And my ex went to rehab in Poughkeepsie. My ex-boyfriend went to the Salvation Army in Poughkeepsie, New York, and also in Worcester, Massachusetts. And to me, that's all a scam. I'm sorry, And the Salvation Army that I worked at too, you know, some of the furniture was chipped or nicked or whatever. It wasn't really in good condition. It was in good condition, but you know, it was nah. So when I see the Salvation cattle out there with somebody, you know, ringing the bell, I don't give, because I know what the Salvation Army is really about. I'm not saying they don't do good, okay? But from, you know, that situation with Naomi, she couldn't bury my friend, for a while. But they have a Goodwill in Tulsa that actually Jim and I went to a few years ago. I like going to garage sales. Here, have you ever heard of like the 100-mile garage sale? You know what? It comes through here. My nephew and niece-in-law had stuff that they wanted to sell, and I think we put in a couple of things for them to sell for us. You know that. But that stretches for miles and miles and miles. So you better bring your money with you, or maybe like a power chair so you can actually go for miles and miles and miles and miles. Put it in fourth gear and just rip it. You know. But a lot of these, you know, like flea markets and all that, you have to watch, especially if you want to buy vintage stuff. You know who's like an antique dealer, and they'll jack up the price even more. The Salvation Army thrift stores here in Australia, very expensive. I went to the St. Vincent's de Paul shop where they have everything really cheap. I think they have like a consignment shop in Sand Springs, and they have other church thrift stores around here. It's not Salvation Army, whatever, you know. I have clothes in my closet, in my drawers, that I should be giving away. I can't fit in them anymore. They say if you can't fit in your clothes more than 6 months, then just give them away. Yeah. I have to start doing that. They have a program in Tulsa too called John 3:16, and it helps with the homeless. And you know, they have a soup kitchen. and they try to find housing for people and everything else, and they do a lot of outreach, and I would like to get involved with that program more. Actually, when my mother-in-law passed away, I told the undertaker, the funeral director, I said, put in lieu of flowers, John 3:16. And you notice now too, there's a lot of people that are ditching like their houses or whatever, and they're living van life now, or like a lot of retiree women, they're buying small, tiny homes. That's like a trend now. I know I couldn't live in a tiny house. Well, look at my size. You think I would fit in a tiny house? I would take up most of it, right? See, I can make fun of myself. But there's some organizations in Tulsa that have tiny houses that they're trying to build tiny house communities for people that are in recovery, that aren't on drugs and alcohol, that are mentally stable and whatever, and they have to pay rent, but I think it's just $10 a month. But they're starting to put people in, and I mean, they're nice. If you're single and whatever, I mean, yeah, I see it. But for me, I know I couldn't live in a house like that. I don't know. I just, to me, it'd be like sort of like a glamorized jail cell or something. Well, who knows, right? But a lot of people are, starting to live in their vans or their mobile homes and just travel around and all that, you know. I wanted to rent an RV. This is a few years ago. And renting an RV is really expensive. I mean, really expensive. And you have to pay for the gas, and then you have, so that wasn't an option. But I like to travel around. I mean, like, because it's relaxing, right? You get to see, God's country and appreciate where you live at, and my uncle and auntie, when they retired, they rented out their house and traveled around the whole Australia in a camper van. Yeah, it's nice, right? I'm a homebody with my back pain. No, ma'am, I love staying home. Yeah, but not if Jim and I come to see you and all that. You're coming with us. We're gonna drag you out of that house. Hell, we'll even put Jim in your house, and you and I will drive around like Thelma and Louise, right? Did you see that movie yet? Did you see that movie yet? You said you were gonna look it up. But like with us, like they have places to like buy like used RVs or whatever. And so Jim watches these channels where it's like one channel is called The World of Drives, and it's nobody talking. It's just a van lifer going down the highway, like say Route 66, or going to Utah, or going around these places, and it's beautiful. And he'll sit in that living room chair like he's like in a haze and a daze, and just I got his van room, no ma'am. You have to have the money, especially right now with the gas prices going up. And it's going to get worse in the middle of June or July and all that. But see, we would have to get a large RV, and he doesn't want to drive a large RV. Okay? He's not used to it. But we would have to bring our cats. And he's like, no, Rick, we're not going to bring our cats. I said, oh, yes, we are. We are. People are minimizing a lot of their life now. Like, because people just have a lot of stuff, right? Because you're not going to take it with you, right? People are just saying, Dishpan, the bunny rabbit. Would you like to travel, Dishpan? I do too, Cynthia. I do. And I got rid of most of my stuff in Jersey. And the Salvation Army truck, or no, it was the Market Street Mission in Morristown. I gave a lot of stuff. I donated a lot of stuff to the Market Street Mission. All right, so now I'm going to say, where would you like to go? If you had a chance to go anywhere in that mobile home, where would you go first? All right, so if I had a van, I'm talking about the U. I think I would go to, I guess, the Grand Canyon. Waverly Hills, where's that at? Yeah, Philip. I mean, check out the World of Drives. If things weren't like they are, I love just to see the U.S. and Canada for now. I live in it, but always be something different. Louisville, Kentucky. Did they film Rain Man there? Or is that another place I'm thinking about? I wouldn't mind living somewhere smaller. I live in a 3-bedroom house by myself. Really? Get a couple of dogs too while you're at it. You have 2 cats, right? So you probably have, you're just probably thinking, well, I have 2 extra rooms, so one's for Spunky and one's for Fluffy. Right? I think like that sometimes, I'll admit, but you know. Louisville Slugger. The best bats they ever make for baseball. Casey at the bat. You ever hear that song? About the Louisville Slugger, Casey Jones at bat? Yeah, I would probably go to, like, the Grand Canyon. Hey, Bunny Boy, what's up? Hey! Bunny Boy, how are you? Cyber Love, welcome back home. How are you, Bunny? You say cool? I'm just like... well, that would be nice. I would love to go to the tropical rainforest. Can't stay for too long, but wanted to stop in and spend a little time. Well, welcome. We're talking about if you had a mobile home, where would you want to go first? Cynthia's like, Queen, I love you, girl. I gotta clean up. Let this phone charge. If you're still on later, I'll holler at you. All right, Cynthia. I love you. I don't know if I'll listen when it's usually dark. A lot of times I'll switch to the Wildfire Studio, but I don't know about tonight. But I love you. Thanks for dropping by. You're my sister. And I appreciate you so much. Go get that phone charged. You would like to go to the Mount Rainier area. I love those creepy woods. In Oregon? Well, that's where, Twilight was filmed? That's where Bigfoot is too, you know, Bunny Boy. And Bigfoot loves bunnies. Just saying. Right back at you, Cynthia. So you better watch it. If you're going to Oregon, Bigfoot loves bunnies. He loves squirrels. And also, it's Taco Tuesday. He loves tacos. Just check out my thumbnail. I'm convinced there's a bunch of Bigfoots. I mean, there just can't be one. Just like you just can't eat one potato chip, right? Lay's potato chips. Well, they say that they've had a lot of sightings of Bigfoot in Ohio. And there is a Bigfoot hunter for hire, guys, and he's living in my house. So if you need to hunt for Bigfoot, if you need a partner, let me know. I'll let Jim know. I'm in Massachusetts, and there has been a lot of sightings here too. Check out the channel Monster 911. He actually lives in town here, and he does really in-depth reporting on Bigfoot and cryptids and all that. He does a lot of phone interviews and everything. I mean, Jim watches him a lot. You know, I remember when Bob Saget was still alive, he actually did a TV show, maybe on the Discovery Channel or A&E, and like he joined like a group of these Bigfoot hunters. It was a show way back, I think in 2005, 2006, and whatever. So I don't know. I would like to go to Oregon. Well, my son is in Oregon, in Portland. He's just existing. He's addicted to meth, fentanyl, alcoholism. He's homeless, and he's just having a rough time in Portland. So, can you please have your thoughts and prayers go out to him? I would really appreciate this. And this stream is actually to my father that passed away 39 years ago when I was 16 years old. My father died 39 years ago when I was 16 of alcoholism. Some people still believe the Tasmanian tiger is running around the outback here in Australia. You mean devil, not tiger. I thought it was Tasmanian devil. Doesn't the outback get over like 100 degrees? Like, it gets really hot out there. I will keep him in my prayers in his name. But Sean, SHAWN. Thank you. Yeah, I never knew there was like a Tasmanian devil. Well, I mean, the cartoons, like the Looney Tunes. But, like, later on in my life, he said, oh, yeah, no, there's like a real Tasmanian devil. Well, in Jersey, there's the Jersey Devil. A lot of people used to say that I was the daughter of the Jersey Devil, or the Jersey Devil's daughter. And all that stuff, because I was so wicked when I was on alcohol and drugs. But it's getting dark, guys, and I really need to cool off a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to continue this live stream from my Wildfire Studio. I don't know. Uh, but my back's starting to really ache a little bit. But there's a Tasmanian Devil Tasmanian. Yeah, I can read. There's a Tasmanian Tiger, which is like a dog. The Tasmanian Devil is alive and well. I didn't read. Why do you do that, Phil? Anyway, it's getting dark. Philip, I love you. I love you. I love everybody that comes on my stream. Cyber love. Grateful hug. So, please, guys, be a good human. Do some random acts of kindness. June is post-traumatic stress disorder month. Please reach out for some help. If you know a loved one that's going through it, talk to them and see if you can get them help too. Because it would make a world of difference. Okay? So let's bring back the word human back into humanity. So with that, guys, I'm Rocket Queen 71 coming at you live. I love you all. God bless you all. Love you all. Cyber farewell hug for now. Bye, guys. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you.